Hello, Fallen Dragonite here. Today will be hopefully the last review of 2020. I say I hope because I hope to actually get this uploaded before New Year's Eve ends. So today we will be taking a look at Cyberverse Arcee from the Bumblebee Adventures wave. Yeah, it's been a while since I actually touched a Cyberverse figure because, yeah, that first wave was kind of iffy. Especially if you saw my review of Shockwave and Starscream. Now then, some of the later figures were actually good. Not great, especially compared to stuff like Earthrise and Siege, but not bad. Especially considering what they were supposed to be for, and they're more for the younger kids. And for that, they weren't that bad. Now then, Arcee was released as part of a Build-A-Figure wave. Yeah, they actually did a Transformers Build-A-Figure with some slightly different figures in the line than before because these ones did not have gimmicks. In fact, what they did have was included effects parts. Yeah, they took the Siege and Earthrise gimmick of the effects parts and actually included a set of effects parts with each figure. In fact, Arcee's here actually store in vehicle mode too. I could just plug them in right to the back here. Yeah, you might notice that these things kind of look off. Well, I'll explain more when I get her into robot mode, but yeah, you can actually have her effects part sticking out of the back of her vehicle mode. And of course, for the Build-A-Figure parts, she has the Build-A-Figure weapon, and I haven't taken these out of the packaging, but the upper arms. I would like to point out that the Build-A-Figure does not transform. It is unfortunate, but all things considered, in order for it to be a Build-A-Figure, they kind of had to sacrifice the transformation and just make him an Action Master. Kind of interesting how the Action Master gimmick is coming back with the RED line. The robotic something. I don't remember what the red is called, abbreviates to. So let's actually take a look at the details. We got some gunmetal gray for the grille of the car. We got some, I believe that's seafoam for the headlights, and we also got some bluish green for the windshield and this soft plastic bit on the back. But other than that, Arcee is just a light pink and dark pink car. She also has some of that bluish green on the wheels too, and they do spin. However, you can see this bit sticking out right here. That's her chest, and it kind of drags along, and it really does hinder her ability to roll. I would not roll this on anything other than a soft surface because I don't want to scrape the paint. So yeah, let's take a look at the underside. Yeah, this is the problem with Arcee. Not just this version, but also the Earthrise version, is that she is a shell former, which means all you do is just fold up her robot mode and put the vehicle mode over her. As you can see up here, we have her weapon storage, which is easy to get in, but kind of tricky to get out, especially if you put this in too far. If you put this in too far, you're never going to get that out without popping off her head and then trying to get it out that way. But yeah, there's not much else to say about Arcee's vehicle mode, other than it's kind of a more blocky design than her G1, which we've saw in the Earthrise. And she does pretty much transform similarly to the Earthrise version, with one noticeable exception. So let's just get on with it. First things first is that we gotta unpeg the wheels and carefully fold these up because the hinge here is connected to clear plastic. So the flexing required to move these panels up takes a bit of force, so I'm kind of cautious about that clear plastic hinge there. Next we untab the arms, and we fold this whole assembly up, and we just fold the entire vehicle mode into itself, while we also fold out the legs. Sometimes I'll rotate her head around, but instructions don't say to do that. Anyway, we fold up the vehicle mode into her back, like so. Then we fold the front of the car down. There's actually a notch there that fits into. We fold out her feet like so. And these joints are pretty tight on mine. In fact, they were really, really stiff when I first got her. And there we have Arcee in her robot mode. Yeah, not really much to her, was there? Now then, the difference between her and the Earthrise version is that the Earthrise version, you can actually take half of the car mode off, and it becomes an accessory like a stand. This actually tries to fold it up as a backpack at least, so at least it's still part of her. The Earthrise version, the fact that you have to take off part of her vehicle mode just to make her look nice is kinda And I also believe that the Masterpiece does the same thing. Okay, now that she's in robot mode, you can see we have that light greenish blue on her knees, on her feet. We have some gunmetal gray in her torso. We have the Autobot symbol on her chest. We have eyelashes, which seem to be a purplish pink, and of course her eyes, which are of course the greenish gray. I mean the greenish blue. Hang on. Sorry, had to sneeze there. As for articulation, her head's on a ball joint. Can't really look up too much, despite the fact there is a cut in the back of her head, but there's just not enough clearance. I think the cut in there is just so you can get the head back on, because that's basically how I got her head back on after I had to pop it off in order to get the gun out. She has ball jointed shoulders, bicep swivel, just under 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, but no wrist articulation. You'd think they would at least try to find a way to incorporate the wrist, but no, they couldn't. She does have waist articulation, ball jointed hips, with a decent amount of range, although the backpack does kind of get in the way of the backward movement. Thigh swivel just above the knee, and then her knees. It feels like I'm undoing the transformation to actually bend her knee, because as you can see there's a tab there that clips in and holds her leg nicely in place, and you have to disengage it in order to access her knee joint. And the knee pad also, it doesn't move. This is all one solid piece, and there's a joint. So the knee pad does not move with her knee, which seems very unfortunate. But because of transformation, she has a very deep knee bend. As for her feet, they of course rock forward and back. Oh, they rock back, I can't rock forward. And there is a very tight ankle tilt. I think it's just mine, but it has been loosening the more I've used it. So yeah, she does have some decent articulation in her ankles and her legs. I'm just very disappointed there isn't any wrist articulation at all. As for her accessories, we of course have the gun. There's this tab here. I have looked in the instructions. I've looked over her body, and I have not seen any place this tab's supposed to go into. I almost think this is supposed to be for another character, and maybe the tab was for storage, but as far as I can see, there is no place this tab goes. And of course, we have the weapons part, the weapon effects parts, which we can just plug in to the ports in front of her gun like so. And now you can kind of see the problem with her effects parts. They're angling downward. And of course, if you try to flip them the other way around, they angle upward. And they kind of interlap with each other if you try to flip one over the other. Now then, I'm sure you could probably use hot water to fix that, but I haven't been able to do it just yet. I mean, it is just soft, flexible plastic. And of course, she just holds the gun, and the joints are nice and tight enough that she can actually hold it without you having to worry about the weight of the gun and the effects parts actually making her arm fall down. Now then, you're probably wondering, can she hold the Build-A-Figure part? Oh, hang on. Well, she kind of can, but after a certain point, she loses the grip on it. I mean, she's not really meant to hold it, and she can't hold it up here because there's not enough clearance. But at certain points, you can actually get her to hold it decently, but again, because that is a cross shape on there, she can't hold it. She can't really hold it too well. As you can see, at certain points, she's just going to drop it. She's not really meant to hold it, but if you angle it just right, she can somewhat hold it, although she's not really meant to. Now then, I only got one figure out for comparison here, and it's of course Thrilling 30 Rat Trap. The backpack makes her a little bigger, and to be honest, when I was transforming her, she actually did feel like a Beast Wars basic, where all of her alternate mode was just on her back. So I guess the Auntie Arcee joke actually kind of fits. Regardless, that is Cyberverse Arcee. Not a terrible figure, but it is not a perfect figure either. It's at least better than what we've been getting in the Cyberverse series so far, and the fact that they try to integrate the vehicle mode as a full backpack rather than requiring you to disassemble part of it like they did with the Earthrise at least makes her, in my opinion, slightly better than the Earthrise. But then again, it all depends on which aesthetic of Arcee you want. And to be honest, if you have the Thrilling 30 version, I'm not sure if this will actually make you want to get it over the Thrilling 30 version. Regardless, that's my review. Okay figure, but it's not for everybody. Hope to see you guys again next video, and happy 2021. Bye!